When helping people with their home wireless networks, particularly in terms of filling slow spots and not spots, a question I always get asked is whether to go for Powerline networking or Wi-Fi repeaters. The simple reason for this is both types are available for much the same amount of money, and both claim to be able to sort out slow and sort of non-existent wireless performance in parts of the house. But I found that their performance is really quite different. And I guess the simple answer of which to use is, in my opinion, very definitely the Powerline network adapters, because I found that on average, for sort of internet access and network performance, they were about twice as fast as the Wi-Fi repeaters I used. And that is quite a significant difference. I mean, that can make the difference between, say, the speed you'd get on a fibre broadband based solution and sort of bog standard ADSL broadband. So the choice of adapter and technology really does matter. But as I said, I would definitely go with the Powerline for reasons that I'm going into depth now. So while testing network performance, consistency is absolutely key. So both devices were connected up to this BT Home Hub 5, which is pretty much the flagship home router that you can get. So then the repeaters, in this case is a Netgear, but I tested other repeaters as well, were then set to repeat the signal from the Home Hub 5 and broadcast the network with a separate name, so I could analyse the performance straight from the Home Hub 5 and also the performance out of the repeater. Meanwhile, the Powerline adapter was connected via a piece of Cat6 cable to the Home Hub 5. And then for consistency, both wireless devices were plugged into a socket in an alternate room. And then I tested direct FTP download performance, because that gets the highest speeds possible. So currently we're on the direct 5 GHz network off the Home Hub 5. So if I just start this download, and then we'll be able to see what kind of speed that gets, and then test the 2.4 GHz from the Home Hub 5, and then test the repeated network, and then also the Powerline wireless network as well. So now I've got the download data for all the different network types. I'll convert it into a nice graph so we can compare them all. So if we look at our graph here, just ignore the Home Hub 5 for now, we can see that the Powerline adapters on the far right dramatically outperform the repeaters. Which is kind of understandable, because what the repeater is basically having to do is act like a sort of language translator, which obviously slows things down. But not only that, but it's having to sort of listen and speak using the same mouth, if you like, which will very definitely slow things down, if it was even possible, with a mammal. So you can see that quite evidently the repeaters make the connection an awful lot slower than the Powerline adapters. And for that matter, slower than, say, being right next to the Home Hub 5, but clearly that's not an option. But I've just put it on the graph to illustrate that both solutions do come with, trying to fix the wireless problems with reasonably low-cost consumer devices won't yield necessarily the best performance. But certainly the performance from the 5 GHz band on the Powerline adapters was enough to just about meet the max speed you can get on a BT Infinity, or for that matter anyone other than Virgin Media connection, well, other than Virgin Media as a major operator in the UK connection.